all-new Late Star News for September 28th, 2018. I'm your host, Kate Ewing, bringing you information that's important to you. Security in Parkway is incredibly important, so here's Jude Reed with more information about Parkway's security measures.
Are our schools unsafe? Not anymore with this new visitor check-in system.
Thanks for meeting with me, Mr. McPherson.
Absolutely.
Now, tell me, what is this new visitor system all about?
Well, really, we were looking for a system that allowed us to not only have an easy way to check people in and out, but also to make sure that we ran a quick background check on people that are coming in the building, specifically for those that may be on an offender list. And so with this new system, when people come in, they'll scan quickly their driver's license. It automatically then checks that they're not in a list that they shouldn't be, and then automatically prints out a visitor's badge too. So the hope is that it will not only speed up the process, but also make sure we don't have people coming into our schools that shouldn't come into our schools.
Right. When will people need the badges? Like, if my dad comes in to pick me up for an orthodontist appointment, does he need a badge?
No, anybody who's basically staying in the building as a visitor. So if a person's just coming in to the office to check out a student, then they normally wouldn't have signed in. So this is really for people that are coming to be at a meeting in the building, to meet with the teacher, to help with a field trip, to help in the library. So places where they would stay for a period of time in the building. Those are the people that actually check in as a visitor. If you're just coming to pick someone up and leaving, then that's not a system you have to worry about.
Right. How does this benefit our school?
Really, it's all about safety. It's making sure that we know who's in the building, when they come and when they go, and then also making sure that people that aren't supposed to be here aren't here. Always, a person who was on the sex offender registry list shouldn't have been coming to a school. Now we have a way of double checking that people that sign in aren't on that list.
Right. Thanks for the info, Mr. McPherson.
You're very welcome. Thanks for the interview.
There you have it, Southwest Middle School. This is why we need the new visitor check-in system. It benefits our school and keeps our students safe. Thanks for watching. For now, this has been Jude Reed signing
The book fair will be here soon, and here with a special look into what you can expect is Carl Schrappen.
Hello, I'm Carl Schrappen, talking to Miss Berger about the upcoming book fair. My first question is, how long does the book fair last, and where is it located?
The book fair will last for a week, Monday through Friday, and it will be taking place right outside the library in the vestibule.
My second question is, what books are on sale?
Well, there are some really great new exciting books that are coming out. If you're familiar with Alan Gratz, he has a new book called A Grenade, and it's in our new flyer. So these will be coming out shortly. So Grenade, you'll want to check that out with Alan Gratz. Another great book that's coming out is more books by April Henry. She just keeps cranking out the mysteries. So April Henry books will be another choice that you might want to look at.
Okay, my third question is, where do the proceeds go?
All the proceeds go back to the PTO, which in turn fill teachers' requests for things for their classroom. So the teachers will write grants, and the PTO will use the money from the book fair to award grants to the teachers. So the teachers might be getting more books for their classroom, or different kinds of seating, things that students can use.
My fourth question is, what's the average price of the books, and so how much would you recommend bringing?
Average cost of a book, there are some that are $1.99 all the way up to $25 if it's a hardback book. Typically, most of the books are $6.99 overall, plus tax. So I really recommend bringing maybe $10, and that should cover everything.
Oh, cool. And lastly, which books or book are your favorite?
I love dystopian books, and there's a great selection of dystopian books that are part of this fair as well. So again, in the flyer that you'll be getting, there's a whole page of new dystopian that have come out. So I'm excited to read some of those.
Thank you for your time, Ms. Berger.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Ever have some questions about classes around Southwest? Here's Nick Herman with Southwest Info.
Hello and good morning, Southwest Middle School. This is Sentinel Information, and I'm Nick Herman. And today we will be covering our theater program with Mrs. Hetz.
Hello.
What classes are going to be available this year?
So this year, the classes available are theater production, creating theater artists, which is 7th grade, exploring theater, which is 6th grade, and video production with digital devices for also 8th graders.
Interesting. So is there anything in common that's going to be in all those classes?
Well, it's both performance and technical, so we're going to get a variety of different things in all of those.
So what plays are going to be shown here this year?
The fall play is called Almost Maine, and it's a vignette play, which means it's just scenes from a small town called Almost Maine, hence the title. And they all have to deal with some sort of a relationship. And then our spring musical this year is Mary Poppins, which is a musical based on the Disney show, and it should be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Ms. Hetz, and thank you for tuning in to Sentinel Information.
Thank you, Nick. I know that many of you sometimes question the rules that we have at Southwest, so here's Dylan Paniwaz with all the answers to your questions.
Thank you for meeting with me, Mr. McPherson.
Absolutely, you're welcome. Glad to have the time.
Alright, today we'll be getting the inside scoop on the rules and regulations on banned items.
Okay.
First off, why can't we have hoods or hats?
To me, hoods or hats are kind of a unique thing, and mostly hoods and hats comes down to respect. I mean, I really do believe that having a hat inside of a building, while it might be kind of an old school way to look at it, I think it is a sign of respect to not have a hat when you're in a building. Hoods are a little bit different because it's important to see a student's face, just to know who that person is, from a safety standpoint even when it comes to hoods. And so hoods, because they're so easy to cover a whole face when they're pulled over, or to pull tight and not know whether that student is angry, whether that student is the student you think they are. Really, hoods are a little different than hats. It's safety and it's respect. You know, making sure that a teacher or a staff member can see your face and that we know what's going on with that face. Because being able to see if a student is angry and how they may respond, or seeing that the student is happy because we can see their face, can also help us to know how to interact with that person, how to help them, and know who that person is.
Alright, and what about the phones?
Phones are really kind of are really different because it really comes down to two things. One, when we had phones allowed before the policy change last year, the reason for phones was to use them in class because it was an opportunity to have technology that we didn't have. Once we switched to having every student have a Chromebook, then there really was not a reason to need those phones in class. And so that was the main reason that we decided to make that change, because every student always had technology available with their Chromebook. The other positive that we have seen, though, but not having phones, was a lot of the issues that were happening around social media and distraction. And when students had phones available all the time, there were often issues with online bullying, of people chatting and texting when they shouldn't be at school, taking pictures in places that they shouldn't have been taking pictures, and in some cases also you know, just really being distracted from their learning from their phone. And so that was really the two reasons for the restriction on phones.
Alright, and lastly, the backpacks and drawstring bags.
Backpacks are completely about safety. I mean, really, there is no reason, because of the lockers being as close as they are to most classes, having passing periods in between, there's really not a reason that students can't carry the things they need from class to class with them. And when you have a backpack, there is no way to know for sure what's in that backpack. And so from a safety standpoint, if we don't have a need for them to carry things, then there's no reason to take that risk of something being in a backpack that shouldn't be. The other piece that comes to that too is it becomes a space issue. We don't have huge classrooms, and when 25 students have huge backpacks hanging on the back of their chair, then that takes up more space than is necessary. So in buildings that usually allow backpacks, it's because, like the high school, it's because there is such a space and time from one class to another that you really can't go to your locker. You don't have the opportunity to do that, so you have to carry all your stuff with you all the time. We really don't have that need, so there's no reason to take the risk on the other side when we don't have the need as much, especially with drawstring bags. You can't fit books and very many things in those drawstring bags anyway, so the only purpose to carry those would be to carry things you really don't need.
All right, thank you for meeting with me.
Very welcome, thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you for joining me on Southwest Middle Late Start News. I'll see you next month.